What is going on? This is AlTone, and today I want to talk to you about one thing. Passion can overcome fear. Passion can overcome fear. So, I've been doing this. I've actually logged on to YouTube for the first time, created my account back in 2013. I was looking back through my account the other day, and it's amazing to me because this essentially 2018 is 5 years I've been on YouTube. And it took a while before I started creating videos, and even longer before I started doing, creating content on a regular basis, right? So I began to realize something as I started paying attention to, YouTube as a whole, and really paying attention to some of the other creators and other individuals who seem to be making a major impact on. Sorry, I'm backing into my driveway, so I had to. I'm not using my my camera, so I had to be able to see a little bit. But the creators that seem to have done the most and the best as far as their success on the platform. And the one thing that I realize is that I'm not going to say I realize it, but one of the things that causes fear for me is that I have been doing this so long. There are weeks that I've created videos every single day. There are weeks that I was doing, weeks on a consistent basis. I was doing 3 videos a week, and on multiple channels, actually. And so many different things that I've been doing, and I've seen some growth, but looking back, I would think that I would have seen a whole lot more, right? And then Lily, who is someone I had a conversation with a while back, seems to be dealing with the same channel. So if you look at my channel right now, I've got 100 and about 130, 140 subs at this point. And I've seen people, and Lily's got like close to 600, for example. And I see the discouragement in her eyes and stuff. And I look at mine and I go, wow, I'm like, it's crazy. And it breaks my heart to see others who, for whatever reason, seem to be really having a hard time. I've got so many things going against me here on YouTube. One of them would be my age. Essentially, in my mind, that has always been one of those things that I feel like I had going against me. And I have not had any formal training with speaking. I haven't had any formal training with coaching, mentoring, anything like that. Things that I've actually wanted, but unfortunately have not been able to find a way to get into. But I'm still searching. I'm looking constantly to try to find those things. But I don't have those. However, with all of that, I realize one thing, if I don't realize anything else. Every single thing, every single setback, everything that I've experienced from day to day since I was born, guess what? All of these things have been tools to teach me, and tools to develop me into the individual that I am, and to give me confidence in myself, and knowing that I have so much to share with others that's going to help them to be exactly what it is that they desire to be. I sit around, I'm a complete introvert. I have major social anxiety, and I'm not an outgoing person. And when you see me on these videos, you probably go, man, this dude is just out there. He's really, man, I have a problem just getting out. You see so many YouTubers or so many content creators, and I hate saying YouTubers at this point. For me, I prefer to call them content creators, right? And that's just a personal thing. There's nothing wrong with being YouTuber, content creator, either way. But there's so many out there that they'll go out, grab a camera, they're out in the crowds talking and doing their things and creating these phenomenal pieces of work, art in video that I have I don't have any. I haven't had any training or experience with doing photography or with doing graphic design or with doing videos or cinematography. I don't know if that's a word. Did I say that right? And all of that. I don't have any of that. I started basically 5 years ago with nothing. I didn't know how to create music. I started with nothing there. I didn't know how to do any of these things, how to record stuff properly, how to line up shots. I didn't know how to do any of that stuff. And I look now at where I'm at and where I started from. And to me, it's phenomenal. It's ridiculous. And even though I might not be growing the way I wanted to, and I actually, at this point, you can see how many views or how many subscribers I actually have. I opened that up because I wanted everyone to be able to see that. But I don't have that. And it's like, why don't you have it? Well, I mean, my brain moves so much faster than I can actually express my thoughts. So forgive me if I jump around sometime. That's another thing that I struggle with, is trying to keep myself focused on a single topic. But I don't have any of those things, but I've accomplished quite a bit. The one thing that I realized, and this is, I'll give you an example, tell you a little story, all right? So I started working. My first job was when I was 15 years old. I worked at a grocery store. Downtown Newport News. I don't even remember the name of the grocery store. It's long gone at this point. But worked in a meat department cleaning up. That was my first, I believe, official job. I worked at another grocery store as a bagger in high school for a period of time. Those jobs, I was a little nervous about them because I knew I was going to have to learn stuff and hoping that I would do a good job. And graduated from high school, went in the military. Going in the military, I was scared to death going to basic training. I was so nervous. It was ridiculous. But yet I got there and I found my groove and I got comfortable. And I did what was necessary, especially in basic training. It's like a transition point. Boom. I went from the guy who, I imagine I was considered a nerd in high school, that wouldn't get his clothes dirty. I had to be, I wouldn't go outside to take the trash out. No hair now. My hair has decided to move to the back of my head. But I was the guy that had waves. I mean, my hair was straight. Nice, evenly cut. Everything was straight. I wouldn't go outside to take out the trash unless my hair was right. I wore suits to school. Nerdy. For me anyway at that time. I wore dress shoes, to school. Carried a briefcase. To having a drill sergeant tell me I need to low crawl through some mud. I was like, you know what? I got my uniform pressed straight. I'm looking good. Got my boots polished. And you want me to go crawl around on the ground in some mud. Are you crazy? I'm not getting my uniform dirty. Well, at some point, there was something clicked. And it said, you know what? I made this commitment. That's what they want me to do. They provided me the uniforms. It's not like it's my own clothes. So guess what? If they want those uniforms dirty, I'm getting them dirty. So in the middle of basic training, that transition happened. And so from the military leaving the military, Leaving the military with nothing lined up, getting a job working for a company packing toner cartridges. That one was not a scary transition. The transition from the military with nothing was scary, but going to the military and the transition and everything and saying, you know what, this is what it is. I got to make some money for my family. Having two boys that needed money. They needed food, they needed clothing, and that kind of stuff. And then jumping into going from there to working at a company as a help desk technician. I worked for Gateway for about 6-7 months as a help desk technician, and then getting hired at NASA to be a help desk technician, which transferred into a job being a system administrator, and then moving from NASA after 5 years to supporting a Fortune, essentially Fortune 500 company, nationwide company, being a sole support for a single office, and being each one of those transitions, I was scared to death. So I'm thinking, especially that transition from NASA, supporting NASA. I was in a single building. I was basically responsible for that entire building. However, if I had something that I wasn't sure about, I didn't know how to fix, I could call one of the other technicians and say, hey, one of my coworkers, and say, hey, can you come over and take a look at this with me? Because I'm not sure. Maybe you can. Maybe two heads are better than one. We can figure out how to fix this issue this client's having together, right? Two, I'm working in the Norfolk office, supporting this client by myself, and the closest technician to me is in Northern Virginia. 2 hours and 30 minutes away. I couldn't just call them and say, hey, can you come and look at this? I could shoot an email and say, this is what I'm seeing, can you help me out? Which I did frequently, but to move to that, I was scared to death. I was deathly afraid of making that transition. And so, guess what? I got in there and I found my groove. I found my place. I found what worked for me, and I found what worked for the people I was supporting. And I was successful at it. And I carried, I think I can't even talk right now, but majorly, I was successful because I cared about the individuals. I cared about the people I was supporting. I cared about the fact that this young lady's machine was down. She can't work, so she can't get paid. So I know that I have a family to take care of. I know she has a family to take care of. And if she doesn't get paid, she can't take care of her family. So it's up to me to get her back up and running so that she can take care of her family. I knew that was the thing, right? And so I was like scared to death, but I found my groove. And I became successful at it. Successful enough that I started traveling to other offices across the country, helping out. And made a positive name for myself doing that. So much so that I was offered a position as a manager. And I've been managing for the last 4, 5, 6 years, which I was also afraid of. And I have good reason to be afraid of that. So I'm working on increasing my effectiveness there. But taking all of that experience and applying it to this channel and trying to share that experience with you. YouTube in itself scares me to death. Me going out and challenging myself to make that phenomenal content, get out and capture those experiences in ways that I've never done before, in ways that I see other people doing. Finding that groove, finding that place, and allowing my passion for this. I have so much passion for helping others to overcome many of the fears that I've had in my own life that I'm still struggling with. I still struggle with many of the things that I'm talking to you about. So when I talk to you about it, I'm not just talking to you, I'm also talking to myself. But I have a passion for that. I have a desire for it. There's a need for it. And I believe that as a community, when we come together and encourage one another and give each other true, loving, constructive criticism, it's possible for us to find success. And it's not about chasing the money. I'll be honest with you. Going into IT in the beginning, I did it for two reasons. One, because I enjoy tearing stuff apart and putting it back together. That's just one of the things that I love doing. Give me a screwdriver and a tank, and I will take that sucker apart in 15 to 20 minutes. I'm telling you, I'll figure it out. But and that's one of my gifts. But I have a passion for helping people, and a passion for allowing others to be able to grow and to be the best, and to understand that even though you may doubt yourself sometimes, it doesn't make you worthless. It doesn't make you less than anyone else. We all doubt ourselves. The most confident person in the world still has doubt within themselves sometimes. It's just a matter of what you do with it. Are you going to use that passion that's in you to overcome that fear? I hope so, because that's what I'm intending on doing. And at some point, I'm going to challenge myself to do something. I did challenge myself, and I went out to the lake, close to the clubhouse, people sitting out on the deck eating, and I challenged myself to go out and record a video. Didn't like the video, never got published. However, it was a start. And I'm going to challenge myself to do the same thing again. And so for you, challenge yourself. This is what I have for you today. Challenge yourself to let that passion that's in you overcome the fear. Overcome it, because you're going to find your groove and you're going to be able to do great things. So I hope this helped you in some way. I truly do. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day. Always remember, never forget, be confident, be passionate, be strong, and most of all, be yourself. Everybody else is already taken. All right, well, again, I hope you have a fantastic day. I'll talk to you again very soon. Peace.